Mario Strikers Battle League has the potential to be the greatest Mario spin-off game of all time. And throughout this video, I'd like to explain a little bit why. Hi Internet, Ark speaking, welcome back to the channel. I've been eyeing Mario Strikers Battle League for a very long time. I even went so far to go into the Mario Strikers community and have them train me to become a competitive player in the previous title. And going into the beta of Battle League, one of the many questions that we had was, would confirms still be a thing in this game? Which is what we called setups that go in 100% of the time. Now to answer that question, a lot of the confirms inside of Mario Strikers Charged, with the exception of the serve it in, is doable, howbeit done very differently inside of Mario Strikers Battle League. So for instance, the Titan's Kick, or the Titan's Arc, was the first confirm, found by yours truly. Instead of shooting from the 44-yard line, you shoot in between the 44 and the 20-yard line. And you also have to angle it slightly. There's a little bit of finesse to make Boom Boom move a certain way. Let me know how many of you guys would be interested in me making a tutorial on how to do all of these different confirms. The serve it up is kind of done more similar to the olden Titan's Kick, except that instead of shooting it over the shoulder, you shoot it around the goalie, like a serve it up. It is not consistent, but it does have a pretty high probability. I would say about 3 out of 5 tries. And I guess while we're on the topic of confirms, the Belgian Waffle does work, but unfortunately no character is really fast enough to go grab the ball yourself, so there's no wind up. You just pass the ball and then kick it in. Self-passing was either upgraded or downgraded, depending on how you look at it, from a technique to a confirm. By using the wall, you could L-chip the ball above Boom Boom. As far as I know, this trick was discovered by Joker, one of my teammates, so it's the Joker's self-pass. And as far as I'm aware, the Titan's Arc and the Joker's self-pass are the only 2 single character confirms. Now, since I'm just kind of rambling with Mario Strikers Charge jargon, I might as well finish it up. A serve it up assist works just fine. It is also, as far as I could tell, a confirm, assuming you get the lineup right. And I think that's it. Of course, rebounds and, tack shots like always going to be a thing. But honestly, that's where the similarities with Battle League and Mario Strikers Charge kind of end. Basically, everything else of the game is either from Super Mario Strikers or its brand new thing, which, by the way, is a lot. Now, the first thing that really stood out to me when I started playing Battle League was the pressure points, since Battle League has by far the weakest goalie AI. You could think of pressure points as spots on the map that Boom Boom has a really big blind spot to. So depending on where you're standing, the probability of that ball going in could be 0, it could be 90%. Positioning is really important in this game. And that's why I saved this quote-unquote confirm for this section of the video, which I call the 44. Because it basically involves you going up to the 44-yard line, above or below the penalty arc, and just shooting it in. The probability of a ball on the 44 line going in is so stupidly high. It is insane. Here's a cheat sheet of like the pressure point map of everything that I've noticed, but keep in mind this could be incorrect. We do not have access to the source code just yet. Now, of course, there are the obvious similarities to Super Mario Strikers, the dash button, the run button, the hyper strike, the universal deke in every direction. But again, this is where the similarities with Super Mario Strikers kind of end. So it might help to think that the setups are from Mario Strikers Charged, the foundation is from Super Mario Strikers, but the actual icing on the cake, the movement and the options, are completely from Battle League itself. And honestly, I'm going to have to limit myself from talking too much about the movement in this game, because holy smokes, they knocked the movement out of the park. In the previous games, there was a lot more of an emphasis on locking down your character to only doing certain things, whether you had the ball or whether you did not have the ball. But Battle League basically threw that on its head and said, you could do whatever you want, whenever you want. If you want to manually tackle, you could do that. If you want to manually pass the ball, you could aim that. If you want to deke when you don't have the ball, you could do that too. Battle League basically took off all the restraints and said, hey, you could do whatever you want. And this crazy amount of freedom allowed us to do 3 things we never were able to do before. First up, because we had so many options now, by using oop options, yes, that's what I'm calling it, out of punt options give you the ability to dribble a ball and use all of your movement techniques and chain them together like a fighting game. It also gives us full autonomy. You could pass to yourself. You could shoot the ball wherever you want. You could give up the ball. People were hoping and praying that the Z-chip came back from Mario Strikers Charge because of how much depth there was by giving up the ball, and what we got in the form of a manual L-chip was not only equivalent, but vastly superior to the Z-chip. Lastly, because there are so many overlapping options, there is bound to be some serious advanced techniques. And in the short time that we played the beta, we already had the taste of that in the form of the Shuttle, which completely cancels the turnaround animation, making your movement super smooth. Now, from a gameplay perspective, they actually removed something inside of Battle League, which was the mechanic of the charge of the ball from Mario Strikers Charge. And the reason for that is the implementation of timed moves. By using your movement with good timing around the ball, you effectively power up that perfectly timed move, giving rise to the brand new technique stat, giving a very solid and if I may dare say, a better alternative to the charge of the ball from MSC. Now, having said all that, I would like to say that this game has exceeded pretty much every single expectation. It is not only equivalent to the previous games, but in a lot of ways, at least from a competitive perspective, supersedes and outdoes the previous titles. With one very surface level thing that actually has a pretty big impact on the way that the game is played, which is the way that the tackle items are handled. Now, I can't speak for a lot of competitive players, but for me, I have never ever thought that items were OP or random. And even with the addition of item boxes and the orb that floats around, I don't mind that, because when an item shows up on the field, there's some strategy on how to get to that position. There should always be someone close, and there's always something to fight for. My issue, and I will admit, it may sound nitpicky, but hear me out, the colored item box when someone gets tackled who did not have the ball. That is the only thing I could think of that was a downgrade from the previous games to this one. In the previous games, you get an item immediately when someone who did not have the ball is tackled, and then you could use that item that you just got against the guy who just hurt you. But in this game, because they throw you an item box, there's an extra step of going to get that item box. There were a few matches when I was playing against someone who was really good, but I didn't have time to go and grab those item boxes because they were just too far away. And this is why I think it's a bit of a nitpicky thing, because that's definitely something that could be changed with code over time. Just make the people who throw those colored item boxes a little bit more accurate and a little bit more square on, or at least close to a guy that got tackled or someone who could go grab an item box. But again, I will admit I am nitpicking. From everything that I could tell so far, this game is amazing. And I'm not just saying that. The game fundamentally, mechanically, game logic, in every way that it's supposed to be, is incredibly sound. And it has a really strong foundation that they could then add more characters, more stages, custom maps, all of the above. There's a lot to look forward to. If you enjoyed this rant, be sure to like, and if you have anything to say, be sure to comment. And of course, if you want to keep up to date with someone who is actually going to be playing this game for the next foreseeable future, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.